Own Leland Vittert, who covered a meeting between the two presidents this summer in Geneva, is here this morning early with us to say exactly what we can expect today, how important this call is. Leland, good morning to you. Have American-Russian relations evolved since that face-to-face meeting this summer in Geneva?
Well, they definitely evolved, Adrienne. It sort of depends on who you are and which direction they have evolved. For Vladimir Putin, since this summer, he's had a couple of real wins. He got the Nord Stream 2 pipeline approved by President Biden, which allows Putin's cronies to sell energy into Europe. That was a huge win for President Putin. President Biden's standing on the world stage has gone down significantly, namely because the debacle in Afghanistan certainly embarrassed the United States on the world stage, really hurt our standing with our own allies, and clearly emboldened both the Chinese, the Russians, and to a certain extent the Iranians. And then lastly, as it relates to Ukraine, President Putin has continued to sort of poke the United States, if you will, by continuing to build up forces on the Ukrainian border, and at the same time continue to harass U.S. spy planes, launch hypersonic missile tests, all military provocations to the United States without any meaningful response from the Biden administration. So today, Putin is looking to see if Biden is going to actually respond in any kind of meaningful way.
Well, could their exchange be tense? I mean, I think that most people watching at home would presume so. Putin has said that the movement of troops near the border with Ukraine is alarmist. How bold or how tactical does President Biden need to be today in order to send a clear message to Putin?
Well, both tactical as it relates to Ukraine, strategic as it relates to Putin's continued bad acts around the world, right? Putin is a bully, and he's going to continue to take and take and take. Putin grew up in the old KGB. He's an old spy master. He's a master manipulator. Remember, he got the best of George W. Bush. He got the best of President Obama, and he got the best of President Trump. Three very sophisticated American presidents who all thought they had Putin's number, all thought they had figured out, and Putin always walked away humiliating an American president and getting what he wants. So President Biden has seen all that. We saw in Geneva when we were there that President Biden was a lot coyer, if you will, than the past three American presidents had been in their first meeting with Putin. But Putin so far has gotten what he wants, gotten nothing in return in terms of penalties, if you will, from the United States. So now is the time to see whether President Biden is willing to put something on the line here and lay down a marker. The problem is that, as was explained to me by the former Supreme Allied Commander who we had on the show last night, President Putin wants Ukraine a lot more than the United States and NATO is willing to defend it. And when you have somebody with as powerful an army as Putin does, who wants something, at some point you have to demonstrate that you are willing to defend it, or you're willing to make him pay a price if he goes and gets it. And so far, the United States has not indicated that it is willing to make Putin pay any type of price on things.
So Russia has operated in Ukraine and Crimea with relative ease for about 7 years. We know that the Ukraine's defense minister actually recently asked for weaponry and defense systems that they'd never asked for before. What message does it send to our allies for America to continue to do what they're doing for Ukraine?
Yeah, I was there in 2014 when the Russians invaded in the east, and it was stunning, really, to see the Ukrainians desperate for help from the United States to stand up to the Russian military. And you'd have Ukrainian soldiers come up to American journalists and go, "Where is America? We thought that you were going to help us fight against the Russians." And President Obama, obviously Vice President Biden was part of the decision at the time, said meals ready to eat, night vision goggles, no weapon systems, no ammunition, no lethal aid, because the Obama administration didn't want to provoke Putin. So that's something that Putin remembers quite well. So far, the United States under President Trump and continuing with President Biden has provided anti-tank missiles, light weapons. The question is, will the United States provide heavy weapons? And Putin has already said that he would view that, quote unquote, as one of his red lines. So the question again, what's the resolve of President Biden to help Ukraine? And it's not really just Ukraine. Remember, it's all of Eastern Europe. It's all of NATO that is watching America to see if, quote unquote, America is back. President Biden ran on bringing America back, on standing up to Putin, called Trump a Putin puppet, standing up for American allies. This is the first real test to see if President Biden lives up to that campaign promise.
And this call, this private phone call between these two world leaders will certainly have great implications for our future. Thank you so much, Leland. We appreciate it. You can catch On Balance with Leland Vittert every weeknight, 7 Eastern, 6 Central. You can bet he will have more on that phone call, or that video call rather, with President Biden and President Putin tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.